Well, good evening. I'm Robert A. Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom. I am a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, timeline coach, dream sculptor, and published author and seminar presenter. Tonight, I want to talk about stop blaming my parents today. As I opened up to this one, I realized when I was young, I blamed my parents for not having enough money, not being the wealthiest people in the world, having to work while I was in high school, and a whole gamut of things. And what I really opened up to realize by blaming my parents, I embedded poverty consciousness, a pity-me attitude, scared of everything, being a scaredy-cat brat, falling flat, splat on my face. And that's what that is. And I opened up to understand my parents did everything for me to allow me to succeed. What I lacked was the fortitude and the appreciation for my parents. You know, my parents have both passed, my uncles and people that were in my circle of influence. And what I realized is I latched on to the little few negative things they had and followed that because that's what I focused on as a kid. Blame my parents for not having enough money. Blame my parents for this. Blaming my parents for this. Instead of understanding the bliss they give me, because they give me a work ethic, an attitude, and they give me the wisdom to expand and energize my life. But what I really realize is my parents were on their own journey, but me blaming them for things that was for me to expand through was where I fell on my face, and I really did. Because yes, they all had their challenges in their own way, but their challenges were never my challenges. My challenges were to overcome everything that was being presented to me. Instead, I fell into the crass of it and into the back-asswards ways of it. Instead of standing and walking, I tried to crawl, bawling like a baby because I never understood the lessons that I was supposed to expand through life in my childhood, my youth. So I really become kind of a crybaby at times. Yeah, I could do the work, I could do all this, but it was the inner self is where I become the crybaby and the pity-me brat. And I was a brat. But here's the day I get to give a confession to expand me out of that, to expand the world. Everything I learned I blamed my parents for was actually the wisdom to expand me, to open my eyes to the wise of me to expand through life. They gave me everything required to succeed, but I stepped back feeling sorry for myself. And I did. And then as I grew older, I understood what I desired to do, but I lacked the wisdom to do it because I wanted it easy and I wanted it quick. That is the biggest two failures right there in the world. Because I now understand I will expand internally before I ever walk forward in my physical world. I was in an offshore seminar deal, and that's one thing. The first thing they said to me was, you'll grow personally before you grow financially. That is the most maturing inspiration I've ever listened to in my life. Now I expanded into listening as the leadership internally, seeing everyday life expand me. But it was my childhood that embedded this grit and go, but I was too stubborn to see the grandeur and the good of my childhood. Because I'll be honest, growing up on a farm and growing up in the state of South Dakota, it's not a bad thing. Actually, it's a good thing because you're going to get a work ethic. You're going to get a way to expand through life, and it's going to give you the heart to succeed. It's going to give you the heart, but it's up to me to open up to the heart, to hear everyday affluence, realizing today is the day I expand through life, living my dreams. And it all stems from my childhood. And there was challenges in it, but really there was a lot of enlightening in it. And I was afraid to see the enlightening because it's easier to feel sorry for yourself than step up to the plate and hit the home run. because everybody's is afraid of being hit by a pitch. Well, here's the thing about getting hit by a pitch: it's a free ride to first base, and that's where people fall down and fail in life, because they're afraid to get hit by the pitch of success. And we try to run from it. We try to do everything we can, but the first step of failure is a quitter, and causes a quitter's attitude, is never taking the first step. And the biggest one is never ever listening to others. But it's also the one that holds you back the most, is willing to admit, I don't know. We want to know before we go, and that's where we grind to a halt. But as I open up and expand more through this, I really realize the whys of life is in the childhood, and it's not stepping back and seeing everything that's wrong, blaming everybody in the childhood. It's being willing to set up and admit whatever went on, and not realizing that whatever you see negative in somebody is your inner self showing you the way to expand through life. Clear the cobwebs of dread from within me. I open my eyes to see that I walk of wisdom. And it was never ever my parents' responsibility to have me succeed or do anything. It was always up to me. But I was afraid of me, so I stayed in the darkness of life rather than in the light of life. I was good at staying in the dark because it was easier to blame somebody than say I did it. And that is the first step of failure, blaming anybody for anything. Blame is being lousy at managing everything and feeling the shame because I never stepped forward. And when I stopped the blame and cleared out the shame, I see harmonizing affluence majestically expand me through life, because it's internally I expand, and externally I witness my inner expansions to feel my internal peace within myself. As I allow myself to kind of have a confession and clear the dread from within me, it's really me. I can hear my mom and dad say, I told you so from heaven. And I kind of have to eat some humble pie, but that's okay. Humble pie tastes like crap, but once you get through the crap, you realize that the crap is really celebrating revolutionary appreciation, participating and facilitating my life. Because that is the thing about success. You're going to walk through the muck and the mud to get to the heaven on earth experiences that we all desire to become. So as I open up to clear this out, realizing blaming my parents from my childhood, actually embedded that same blame to come forward to today. And to really expand away from that and out of that, I admit it to myself. And I'm admitting it to the world here, so allowing people to sense that they can overcome the inner battles we have because of our childhood. And I witnessed this on where I was working today or last week. We have never matured beyond high school. We've grown up, but we've never matured. And maturity and growing up are complete opposites. Everybody can grow up, but maturing is a magnificent appreciation, trend-setting, unbelievable, robust energy to expand through everything. And quit feeling sorry for ourselves, and quit feeling sorry for myself that everything didn't go perfect, because life is nothing more than a challenge to see if whether I rise to the challenge or the challenge controls me. But either way, something is going to happen. But it's never allowing the challenge to control me. It's having the guts to see the challenge as culminating hellraisers, audacity, loving life, expanding new gut, enterprising energy. Because life and thinking, everything you do is an energy. And when you realize everything's an energy, you stop getting caught up in the blame, the shame, and the damn, and the blam, and all the other crap that goes on in your life. So as I allow myself to admit this to the world, I cleanse and clear out my inner self. But I really clear out that inner dialogue of feeling sorry for myself. That is where we stay stuck in yesterday, is because of the inner dialogue and our quick retorts to everything that goes on rather than a response. Because if you can respond, You can go and fawn, feeling omnipotent new determination. But when you retort, you're reacting to the crap of yesterday, and yesterday is controlling your life. That is about what letting go and admitting this to the world is. I get to walk out of yesterday into the light of today to see, feel, and witness a whole new me, maturing every day, understanding that life is always going to throw me a curveball to see whether I swing, get hit, or just nothing. And that is where the world is standing today. There's a lot of nothing going on. Everybody's waiting for somebody else to do it for them. Blaming my parents was me waiting for somebody else to do it. And they were the greatest people I never said that to in my life. So if you got parents alive, make sure you tell them everything you want to tell them, because when they're gone, you don't get to. So as I opened up more to this, and I opened up to my inner self and allowed all the stuff I stuffed inside me to come be liberated, I lionized internal, bold, enterprising, trend-setting audacity to walk through life with my head high, being willing to get hit by the pitch, being willing to hit the home run, but willing to swing and miss too, because that all, the swing and the miss and everything else allows me to beat of my game of life and never end sitting on the bench a stench. And that is where we set in the blame and shame game, waiting for somebody else to do it for us. We're always sitting on the bench of stench, and we never get out of the smell of failure. Because failure is only a failure if you never get up. But really, failure is the first adventurous, intuitive, lionized, utopian resolve to expand through life. Because you're going to fail before you succeed. You're going to fail many times. Basically, the easiest way to look at life is I'm going to fail my way to success. Wealth, love, everything. Because nobody's perfect, but everybody wants to be. And that's what, and everybody wants the perfect life. Well, what is the perfect life? What are you willing to experience to have your heavenly heydays here on earth today? That is the question. What are you really willing to experience? Because it's really easy to blame somebody. Man, I was good at it too. But now it hurts. Because now I'm responsible and accountable for everything that goes on around me. And once you start being responsible and accountable for everything that goes on around you, you stop looking outside of yourself and you really begin a new determination. Because I realized this week, arrogance and ignorance finds fault with everything. Confidence blazes trails of triumph because it's willing to walk through the fires of hell with a mouthful of water, spitting on it and putting it out. And that's just as simple as it gets. But it's about allowing yourself to feel the power of yourself. And it's being, and next Tuesday's Facebook Live is I have the will to dance with my dream. And that is the thing. It's the will of our dreams that allows us to move forward. And a dream ain't something ecstatic. Dream is just where you desire to experience. And a dream is nothing more than you've never experienced it before. And it's outside of the realm of your current way of thinking. And it's way beyond everything you know. And that is where the world is stuck, is in everything you know. And if you watch the leaders of the world, it's always somebody else's fault. They're afraid to look in the mirror and say, I did it. And that's where the freedom of life comes. When you look in the mirror and say, I did it. I desire to experience, and I really see my accomplished outcome in the mirror of freedom. As I walk forward and really look at life with a liberated heart and enterprising eyes, feeling my inner inspirational expressions, I expand the grandeur of me. And it's me, myself, and I that'll fly. And who am I willing to let fly with me? That's up to them. Because life is up to me. It's up to you. And I really have trouble talking in the third person ever since I started writing in the first person. Because the word you allows you out of the mirror. Me, myself, and I puts me in the mirror with my seer savvy to expand through life. Really about allowing myself to have the gut gumption, put the right foot in front of the left foot every day, knowing there's going to be good, bad, and indifferent times all day long. how is it the bad time opened me up for the good times? And that is what we're really afraid of, is the unsavory and the unsettling of life. Because when you're in the unsavory and the unsettling, the invisible inspirations will expand you out of that. But it's having the guts to hear it, listen, and adhere to it, and walk in the path of the invincible inspirations that are within us. And that allows me to go free today. So I give myself permission to facilitate, participate in every facet of my life. Good, bad, or indifferent, because life is never going to be without the challenge. Life challenges me to be the best, bold, enterprising, sassy today, because the more I sass the crap, the more sassy tenacity I show myself. And that is where it is. It's a sassy tenacity within me that sets me free. And I am Robert A. Wilson. My website is mycowboywisdom.com. And my books are available at amazon.com/author/Robert A. Wilson. And howdiditeachmyselffear.com. And today I set myself free because I stopped blaming anybody, especially my parents and my family, for anything. I appreciate them for who they are, and I love them just the way they are. And I want to say thank you and good night. And all my books are wrote in first person and in rhymes with no punctuation, because punctuation is a silent mind control. And once you start reading them without punctuation, you really start understanding how controlled we are with the subliminal messages that's within writings. So when you read them without punctuation and in first person, it allows you to expand through life. And with that, I say good night, and may your life be blessed with bountiful abundance, as you're a blessing to me and the world. And I say good night.